7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, sci-fi fans, it's IFB time, Interfleet Broadcasting here, our news, pop culture, sci-fi entertainment channel, brought to you by two old guys that grew up watching 70s and 80s TV, movies, cartoons. I'm New York Pete, and this is my buddy, Chris.
Hey, everybody. How are y'all tonight? I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just, you get on the air and you're like, you know what? And then you reach over to the wrong side.
Is that like your Fonz move? I thought it was like a Fonz thing.
Yeah.
Maxim, what's up? Thanks for joining us live. As soon as you guys pop up,
little hair I got left.
A quick chat, and want to acknowledge everyone that joins us live. We appreciate it. There's a lot of you that are going to watch us in rerun. We appreciate you as well. So we got a lot of great things to talk about tonight, and a whole bunch of guests as well. Hey, Rob, thanks for tuning in. So in the wings, we have some really, really great updates. Hey, Jeff, what's up? BSG Team Viper, of course, Sean. All right. Way to go, Sean, Battlestar Bulletin Board. And Lola, good evening to you. Excellent. So, well, everybody's checking in from all over the states, and typically we're going to get all Cylon layouts. That's right, Jeff. Cylon's live matters, but we'll see about that tonight because we got a really good, interesting take from the scrapbook, the official Battlestar Galactica scrapbook. And I don't care what Tipsy Toaster says.
We're going to make some people angry tonight, I'm sure. Somebody's going to take offense of something.
Well, whatever. Charlene Donatello's on with us. Thank you for joining us, Charlene. Carl, how the frack are you doing? We're doing well. Mary Capizzi, thank you for joining us. Hi, thanks for joining us live. Chris, we like to toast the fans at the very beginning of the show.
We like to toast anything at this point. No, just kidding.
Well, but that's that's kind of true. But bottom line is that we really appreciate all the support, and we'd be doing this one way or the other, like you'd said many times, Tipsy. But it's so much more fun when we have all the fans with us, and
so have Superfan Fran tonight, do we? No,
Superfan Fran will be. I'm sure she's going to drop in any minute now. Yeah. But Fran Severn, well-known author in her own right, used to do a lot of fan fiction, including a lot of Battlestar Galactica and some, Stargate as well. But she'd done some really, really cool Battlestar Galactica stuff, and we've had her on the show. We're going to bring her back again. But the reason we bring her up front is that Fran has, bought our rounds of beverages tonight.
Yep.
And I happen to have Angry Orchard with me. It's the baked apple pie. So that's from here in New York State. And thank you, Fran, for buying the rounds. Appreciate it.
That's funny because you say apple pie. Of course, I'm going to say Dragon Con. At a con that I like so much, they have a competition of who can make the best tasting what they call pie, which is a liquor concoction with they started out with apple pie and they started with different ones, and they have a competition for that. That's like unofficial competition, but tonight I am going electric. Woogie woogie woogie. Yeah. I'm going
Twiggy, what?
Woogie. It's electric. Woogie. So I'm going Hop Electric Hazy IPA. It's got a really interesting dog that's peeing on an electric fence, it looks like.
Okay.
So that's it, and it's from it's a real live wire brewed under special agreement, Flying Dog Brewery, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. FlyingDog.com. That's right.
Excellent.
You too can have a Hop Electric Hazy IPA from Pennsylvania. Just go to your local brewery and get it yourself.
Well, welcome aboard, Chuck Davenport, one of our CG Masters Extraordinaire, part of our IFB team and then some. Thank you for joining us tonight, Chuck. Appreciate it. And let's see, Jeff. Yes, we're going to get to Cylons in a minute. Stand by. And yes, hope the grog is from the aggro ship. Actually, yes, it's aggro ship special via Fran Severin's pocket. Thank you very much again, Fran. Appreciate it. So, Tipsy, you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Uno, dos, three. Messed you up, didn't I?
Yes, because you got that can, man. All right, let's do this. Look, I got my Cylon
Again,
Galactica.
of course,
Yes,
the
again.
Cylons rule.
Got to keep
Ready?
them close, man. Keep the enemy close. All right, let's. Ooh,
Definitely an IPA.
it's definitely good.
Definitely
Oh my God,
hoppy.
It smells awesome. This is going to be awesome.
Awesome. It's
This is
totally
awesome.
awesome.
Yes, stop that. That's offensive. You can't. You're not from New York.
I told you
Stop.
we're going to offend somebody tonight, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I'm already offended because you're not from New York. Stop talking like that. George in the house. All right.
I got 3 New Yorkers on here. Anyways, thank you for coming. We always say that the fans are the fuel that moves the fleets along and those fandoms that move along. So we always toast to the fans every week. It's just another excuse to drink beer as well as honor you all for being here. So, and I only get to drink 1 beer a week. So this is it. I get happy. All right. So thank you very much. And as we always say, Pete,
Fans fuel the fleet. Here's to you guys.
fans for the fleet.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh, wow. That's totally
Yeah,
unique.
it's an IPA.
Wow. Okay.
A little watery.
Oh, no, I like mine. Too bad.
It's a percentage.
Well, but
Yeah,
look, next time.
6.8. That's not bad.
Let's see who's.
Taste
Hey,
doesn't
Tipsy,
jump.
Pick
It's
a
not
card.
electric enough. Wiki, wiki, wiki.
Pick a card. Any card.
The Imperious Leader all the way to the end.
Okay. Let me see. I think that's
no.
No, that's this one.
Yeah.
That's this one.
Yep.
Right? This is card 11. And it's guess who?
Imperious Leader.
It's Chris Feehan. Well, this is one of my favorites, TIE Fighter pilot. It's a good one. Guess who? Chris Feehan. Stormtrooper. Guess. It's our buddy, Chris Feehan. And Shadow Trooper. I don't have all his cards, but I got a bunch of these. So, and it's Chris. So,
I would say Chris Feehan has got a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff, but that's beside the point. And he's with us. 501st Legion, Empire City Garrison Commander Chris Feehan is going to give us an update on all that Star Wars. And let's also mention the fact that he's going to be there with the Empire City Garrison at New York Comic-Con. So we're going to be doing an interview with them. Yeah. So we're going to catch up with him at the con as well. But he's here with us in the green room waiting. So let's get him on, man. He's got stuff to tell us.
Boom. How's that?
There we go. Yes. Chris, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good, man. Star Wars, busy, very busy.
Oh my goodness, it's been very, very busy. The last time I was on, we were talking about all the stuff that dropped after May the 4th and the big Star Wars celebration, and there was tons of news coming out about Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, and there was some talk about the Rogue Squadron movie possibly getting nixed because it had been pushed off the schedule. Well, now we're coming off D23. And there was tons and tons of news that came out of D23 that surprised a lot of fans, shocked a lot of fans. And it's pretty much official now that the Rogue Squadron movie by Patty Jenkins is going to be nixed at this point. It's off the schedule. It was going to be the next movie that come out for Star Wars, hopefully the end of 2023. That's not going to happen. So on the movie front, we're kind of at a standstill. We know the Rian Johnson new trilogy has been axed next. Taika Waititi's new Star Wars, whatever it's going to be, is probably going to land sometime in 2024. However, we were not disappointed at all by what we heard regarding television series. They seem to just be going nuts with television series. We already knew about Andor, which has been in development for 3 years, filmed and during COVID and had a lot of delays. That finally came out last week with the 3-episode premiere. They're now up to episode 4. It's gotten some critical acclaim. I personally thought it was a little slow, but I have to wait and see how it shapes up. I have to see how it shapes up. I heard episode 4 is a little more exciting and includes Mon Mothma and some other characters we might be familiar with. So I'm very excited to see where it's going. It was confirmed at D23, which was kind of a blessing and a curse, that it's only going to be 2 seasons, and that the second season finale is going to lead directly into Rogue One. So it's going to be kind of a self-contained miniseries over 2 seasons. The second season is planned to already start filming in November. So we may see that by the end of next year or early 2024 and see the conclusion of Andor's story. On top of that, we heard about some other things coming out, including Tales of the Jedi, an animated short series, which is going to be exciting. That's something that we knew was on the horizon, but it wasn't definite. That is actually coming out sooner than we thought. It's coming out the end of this month. October 29th is going to be the premiere of that series. So that's another property that we're going to be seeing on Disney Plus going forward. And then we have The Bad Batch Season 2,
Yay.
which originally we thought was going to be in the fall, but it's been pushed all the way back to January. So January 4th is now the current release date for The Bad Batch Season 2, and I know a lot of people are excited about that. Immediately following that, there hasn't been a definitive release date yet, but probably February, March, we're going to see The Mandalorian Season 3. They showed the trailer at D23 and people went crazy. The trailer looks absolutely insane. Features a lot more with Mandalore and a lot more Mandalorians fighting and a lot of action. It looks like it's going to be off the hook, and it's going to be everything everybody's been waiting for, which is the next chapter in the Mandalorian series. After that, we're going to be looking at another animated series. I think it's called the Young Jedi Adventures series. That's going to premiere in the spring, followed soon after by Ahsoka. Ahsoka is this series that's an offshoot from The Mandalorian and from the cartoons, and that series is just wrapping up development and shooting and special effects, and is hopefully going to debut sometime mid-year next year. We're also going to see, we found out, a second series of Star Wars Visions, which was different takes on Star Wars and different animation styles. It was an interesting series, and that we are going to see a season 2 of. We also had a surprise announcement that there's another series nobody knew was even coming called Skeleton Crew that's being led by Jude Law, that's already well into filming, and that's going to debut sometime before the end of next year. So people were excited about that. There was also a leak this week of some footage of a speeder bike with a scout trooper on it. So people are excited that we might see some old school scout troopers again zipping around on speeder bikes based on what was shot from the leaked footage. The Acolyte series has also been fully cast now. More cast announcements have come out. It's been officially greenlit to start filming in October. We may not see that in 2023. It really depends on the filming schedule when they finish. They're not supposed to finish filming until April 2023, so we might not see that by the end of next year. They might hold that back for a spring release in 2024. That series, a little more information came out about it in D23, that it's going to take place 100 years before The Phantom Menace, and it's going to be the High Republic period. And there's been some talk about some of the Sith that might have been part of the Old Republic making an appearance either as visions or being referred to, like Darth Revan and some of the other Siths from that era might actually make an appearance or be mentioned in that series. So people are excited about that just because it harks back to going even further back in the history of Star Wars and kind of shows how the Republic could be corrupted from within without the Jedis knowing anything about it. So it's going to be more from the dark side point of view and how the Sith kind of festered within the Republic without the Jedis knowing. The Rogue Squadron movie seems to be off the table. That doesn't seem to be going forward at this point. It's been completely taken off the schedule. And the New Republic, what was it called? Heroes of the New Republic, the one that was going to be led by the girl from The Mandalorian. I can't think of her name right now. I'm blanking. What's the No. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. Cara Dune. Cara Dune.
Okay.
That seems to have been completely abandoned at this point, and there's been no word on whether that's going to come back or whether that's going to be in development anymore. So unfortunately, some things fell by the wayside and other things popped up that we weren't even expecting. There hasn't been any word yet on a new Boba Fett series. There hasn't been any word yet on any other future projects, but I'll try to keep you informed as soon as anything comes to light and anything starts developing that might be of note that we want to talk about. They had thrown out some talk about a Lando TV series with Donald Glover. That still has not completely formulated and isn't, set in stone yet. And there's been some other talk of like I said, a Boba Fett season 2, but nothing is currently on the schedule yet to be filmed or developed. It's in pre-production right now. So we'll have to see what develops. But it's amazing what Disney Plus has done with the property at this point. They've just thrown out so much different material in different formats and animation and live action. It's going to be really exciting. They've also released some other behind the scenes stuff. If you're not aware, there is an Obi-Wan behind the scenes in the gallery that's similar to the behind the scenes that were done with The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. And there's also an incredible series, Light and Magic, that's a 6-part, 6-hour miniseries all about the history of ILM. Absolutely incredible series. Had footage I'd never seen before in any behind the scenes documentary and some new interviews with some of the people involved with Lucasfilm and the development of Lucasfilm. It's a fascinating series. I recommend anybody who's interested, not just in Star Wars, but in just how special effects developed over the past 40, 50 years. It's absolutely an enthralling documentary that you might want to check out. On the 501st front, we've been busy as heck doing all kinds of charity work, all kinds of charity events all around the island and in New York City. We just got off doing a cosplay runway event that was for Fashion Week. We did a few walks over the past few weeks, and we're doing a polar plunge this weekend for the Cerebral Palsy Association in Nassau County. We're also going to be at Comic-Con, the entire length of Comic-Con from the 6th to the 9th, from Thursday to Sunday. We're going to be in room B102. It's the family room on the first level. It's in that long hallway across from Artist Alley, and we're going to have our sets, our Tatooine set that we brought there before. And for the first time ever at this convention, we're bringing our large full-size trash compactor set, and that's going to be very exciting. And we're going to be running Blaster Trooper. We're going to be answering any questions you may have about the 501st or joining or how we build our costumes. Please feel free to come to the table and ask us any questions or if you'd like any information. We have free trading cards available for everyone. And we'll be running a Blaster Trooper and a raffle. The raffle is going to be for a HasLab's Razor Crest from The Mandalorian. That's that giant scale Razor Crest that's to scale with the figures. That's about 3 times the size of an X-Wing. It's literally humongous. That HasLab's Razor Crest is going to be raffled off for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Last year, we raised over $5,000. We're hoping to break that record with such a great prize and doing the Blaster Trooper throughout the 4 days. So please come check us out. Please be generous and give to the charity and get your chance in to win that incredible HasLab's Razor Crest. It's really an incredible item. It originally sold during the pandemic for, I think, $450 on the HasLab site, and now in the aftermarket, it's going for anywhere from $700 to $1,000. It's a very sought-after island, just like when they did their sail barge. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's one of these very rare items that's hard to get, and we'll be selling tickets to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation at Comic-Con, so check it out.
Awesome.
Outstanding as always, Chris.
Is there any way, is it in person only for the tickets?
It's in person only, but if you message me or send me an email and you want me to buy you some tickets, I'll be happy to buy you some tickets. And I know you guys are going to be there, so definitely come check it out and get your chance in. It's an incredible item. I'm very happy to to be able to put that up this year as the prize, and we're hoping people get very excited about it.
But I want to do a Blast the Jedi thing. Why can't we blast Jedis instead
Blast
of
the Trooper,
troopers?
you can. Well, we're going to have the Saber Guild there. We're partnering with the Saber Guild and the Mandalorian Mercs and the Rebel Legion. We're all going to be there, and maybe we can get one of them to do that for some raise the money for the charity. We're all partnering to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Saber Guild is going to be raffling off a rare Ultra Saber. So
Wow.
pick your prize and pick what you want to how you want to show your support for the Make-A-Wish Foundation at New York Comic Con this year.
Great.
Outstanding. Looking forward to meeting up with you, Chris. So we're definitely going to
Fantastic.
catch up to you. We will be there covering from Friday to Sunday. So we will definitely come down to see you, pick up some of those raffles and donate some money to that. So that's really, really cool. Thanks as usual. I mean, there's so much going on, and we're so happy to have you, taking time out and coming here. So, Comic-Con is, as of right now, next week. So it's coming up fast. So we're going to have a good time there. I'm glad that you took the time out again, Chris. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks
You're
for
very
having me.
thorough. And so if anybody has anything specific for Mr. Chris Feehan, info@interfleet.com, please send it over my way and we'll pass it on and have him answer any comments or questions.
Interfleetbroadcasting.com.
Yeah, during,
And you can always check out our website 501ecg.com to see some of our upcoming appearances. And if you're out of New York State, there's all garrisons all around the country. You can check out 501st.com for more information on your local garrison and find out how you can get in touch and get involved with some of your local garrisons doing good work in your community.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Chris. All right, so we'll see you again hopefully sooner than later. Catch up to you at the Comic-Con, and then you'll fly by again and give us an update later, hopefully in October again, as we make the schedules happen.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks
Take
a lot,
care.
Chris. Appreciate it.
I am so
Awesome.
glad he comes on because, there's so much going on in Star
There is.
Wars.
It's incredible. Let's see,
I
real
mean,
quick,
there's no
Fran-
way
Fran
that,
is on.
he's got a good personal connection with everything, of course, but I
Oh,
love
yeah.
he's right on it every single time he comes on. It's just amazing.
No, we're lucky to have him. It's an honor. Not to mention, he is, of course, a big science fiction fan. Obviously representing Star Wars, but has deep roots in Battlestar Galactica as well. So we're definitely going to schedule him in, and we're going to do a deep cut.
We said we were going to do that last year. We never did. We're going to have to definitely do that this year.
Yeah, we
Talk
want to
about the
have.
Battlestar Galactica stuff.
I don't know. I think we're gonna pass that on to John One and see if we can get John to actually
Schedule an interview.
Yeah, schedule an interview so we can bring back the old Battlestar Galactica fan club and the like that Charlene Donatello was
How it
involved
started,
with.
where it came from, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Would be great to
that'd
know.
be great. Robert Conkey, thank you for joining us live. Appreciate it. I know there was some issues. However, you're back and stick with us. Let's see. We were getting some questions. Maxim, we're going to delve into Battlestar Galactica right after John 1 goes. So for those of you that are familiar with this is what we're reviewing, the Battlestar Galactica official scrapbook. I loved it. I bought this when its first day on the shelf. I stumbled on this, bought this. I love this book, and now we're going to review that, which was a suggestion from Robert Baum. So, Rob, thank you very much for that great suggestion. And so we're going to start that later in just in a little while. We also have an unboxing. I happen to have, we'll talk about some of the sales regarding Battlestar Galactica that came up. We posted it, everybody jumped on it, and all of us got a lot of good stuff. And I have something that I'm going to unbox with you guys later as well. So looking forward to that. Sean, yeah, you have the scrapbook. A lot of us have the scrapbook, and it's a heck of a, I really enjoyed it. So oversaturation, sometimes oversaturation backfires. We'll see. Rob says, I recall buying it in April or May of 79. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
I think it's
without
colonial
further ado,
Felger garbage, to tell you the truth. Anyway.
easy. Take it easy. It's official. Okay?
It's officially propaganda.
You need to calm yourself down. All right?
Colonial propaganda.
Oil up your Cylon servos for a little bit because we're not there yet. So just calm yourself down, man. Go put on your gold helmet for a little bit. Unplug your second brain and you'll be fine. Oh my God, it's a great book. You know what? The problem is that, Chris, you didn't get to read it when it first came out.
No,
And now
I'm a newcomer to it, and I'm glad, because if I would have read it when it first came out, I would have thrown it away.
No, you would not.
No, I
you
wouldn't
would have
throw it
actually
away.
appreciated. Yes, all Felgo cards. That's right. You would have appreciated it for what it was and what it is.
It's interesting.
And it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and it has a very unique perspective that I want to actually start with.
Colonial
that
perspective.
Oh, we go again. All right, that's neither here nor there right now. I think that without further ado, John 1 is patiently waiting to give us his report. So why don't we get John on and have him give us his take on things.
You there, John?
Hey guys, how are you? How you doing tonight?
All right,
Good.
good.
Outstanding,
How are
sir.
you? Yeah.
Good. How you doing? We got some good shows coming up. It's October now, so we know what that means, all spooky stuff.
Well, all I know is I'm waiting for Hocus Pocus 2. I've been dying for that for years. That's always my.
Out, I think tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always my daughter and I and the family have watched it every year on Halloween. That's our thing.
It's gonna be good.
We can quote that movie just as good as I can quote Blazing Saddles.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, good. I'm glad you have some downtime, Tipsy. Call sign reboots with us. Fran jumped on. I don't know, Fran, if you got a chance to hear us. Thank you for our
super fan
tonight.
Fran.
Yeah. Mediocre modeler. So is unplugged your second brain like a Cylon timeout? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so there we go. Thanks for joining us, guys. Without further ado, John, let her rip, man. You got a whole bunch of cool stuff that you're going to talk about.
Oh yeah. So here comes another reboot from Hulu. Clive Barker's 1988 Hellraiser's out on Hulu. It's about a young woman must confront the sadistic forces to find her brother. We find an enigmatic puzzle box. So she finds a puzzle box. It opens up. It cuts her. The demons come and they kill everybody. So it looks pretty good.
Oh,
the Pinhead
all right.
Sounds familiar.
This series
Yeah.
is pretty good. So it's got a different take on Pinhead. So we'll see. Not going to be the original Pinhead that we all love, but
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I'll take a look at it. That comes out October 7th, I think. October 4th. I'm sorry.
It says 7th at the bottom.
Does it say? Yeah, but it says October 4th. It keeps missing it up.
Huh.
So
I'd say the 7th or 4th. For the 4th, just hang on. You're early.
I think when they first come out, the pictures,
Yeah.
they say it's the 4th, and they change the date.
Change the date. Yeah, of course.
We'll see. I'll watch it the other way. I'll be home.
That's
And
on
next
Hulu, though,
series-
right? That's on Hulu only.
Hulu, yes.
Yeah.
So it's another remake on Hulu. And this one coming up is on regular cable. A vampire who's living in old places, Dubai, is seeking to sell the story. Yeah, I don't know where he hides. He must be rich. He's one of those rich vampire guys.
Yeah.
Hiding his castles over there. Seeking to tell his story of his life and his family to a journalist. It's based on the movie and also based on a book from Anne Rice. The series, was it Interview with the Vampire? And it'll premiere on American Movie Channel on October 2nd. But it looks pretty good. Interesting. It's a big budget series, so hopefully it's I think season 2 has already been renewed before it even hit.
Okay.
And our next movie is coming out on Netflix. Rob Zombie, who just stick to singing, directed this movie. And I was hoping maybe, that Herman Munster would go on a rampage, like fire and break things, but no, it just got wasn't as good as
I wonder if it's going to be as campy as the original show was.
Oh, it was really campy.
Is it?
Wait, he didn't pull any punches on the campiness. It was just how sad I was. How sad I was to see it didn't happen. And sadder still, I watched the whole movie. So
Oh,
go
boy.
torture yourself now. It's out on Netflix.
Oh boy.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
I'm gonna have to watch it because I
I'm
like
gonna pass
campy.
on that.
I like
Thank you.
campy.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Well, wait a minute. Here's the question: is it Galactica 1980 campy or is it Galactica 1978 campy?
Well, I would say it's bad, so I'd probably say Galactica 1980.
Ah. Now I just have to watch it to see how bad it is.
You'll see.
Oh, I'm gonna pass. That's a shame, though. Too bad.
And from author Christopher Pike comes The Midnight Club. It's about a hospice for terminally ill young adults who come together every night and tell horror stories, and they all have a bond that whoever dies first will come back from the after the dead to contact them.
Oh, cool.
So I'll be dying to see this on October 1st on Netflix.
Oh, there's a good pun. I'm dying to see it.
Dun, dun, dun.
John's got dad jokes tonight.
All right. All right.
And the Outer World hilarity will continue with Sci-Fi's Resident Alien, which was given season 3. It's been renewed for season 3, so it should be start shooting next
I
year sometime.
love that show.
That show is great.
love
Alan
that
Tudyk
show.
has really stepped into the season. He's pretty funny,
Yeah.
and he's got his little baby alien with him too.
Yep.
You guys
I
see the
love
baby
that
alien?
show. That's so good.
I like how mean he is to people. He's like me. And those two siblings are at it again. Again, that who's going to kill who first? The movie is Halloween Ends. It'll drop on Peacock and theaters October 14th. Jamie Lee Curtis reprises her role. Michael Myers is there, and people die, and she screams and runs away, and
Oh,
Michael
boy.
Myers survives.
Nah.
It's just a series that's never going to die. Another
But-
movie's coming out. A family
I wonder
tries
if
to
Jamie
survive
Lee
during
Curtis
a
still looks as good as she did in the first couple ones.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Let's
she's
check
pretty
that
good now
out.
with the gray hair, so it's, she's
Yeah.
gonna stay in shape. Yeah. But not like the first one.
Yeah.
The zombie apocalypse and Among the Living. It'll be hit theaters October 1st. So, and it's like the road, but with zombies.
It's like what with zombies? I'm sorry.
It's like the movie The Road, where the guy's trying to get away from the aftermath, and they're trying to follow the road to
Oh.
a safe place, but zombies are going to attack him now. So
Nah.
more reboots and remakes and different names.
I don't
This
like
up
the,
and coming sci-fi
I don't like the
movie
thing at the
looks-
top. It says don't run, don't scream, don't bleed. Don't
you run away
watch.
from zombies.
Yeah. Don't watch.
Don't watch.
I got the campy horror movies on.
Yeah.
But this other upcoming sci-fi series, I've seen the previews for it. Looks pretty good. Vesper. It's about a 13-year-old girl helping her family after Earth's collapse. So there's a lot of sci-fi stuff. There's probably different animals. I guess Earth was conquered by aliens, but
It sounds like a
according to the
YA.
reviewers
Is
and
it
critics,
young adult?
it's gonna be pretty good.
I wonder if it's young adult.
Well, she's probably for young kids, but I don't think it's gonna be like an adult movie though.
Okay.
It looks pretty good. That's gonna be in theaters tomorrow.
Oh.
And
Okay.
this next horror movie called Smile hits theaters tomorrow. A woman witnesses a horrible scene, and she has to deal with all the evil that comes following with her. I guess she has to some demon follows her now, and everyone around her has this horrible smile before she tries to get killed, or they die with smiling.
Huh.
But if you guys are watching the Yankees and the Today Show, the promotional people are actually putting people in the background with the shirts that are smiling, and they were doing the creepy smile from the movie.
Oh, wow.
There's marketing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just thought they were really, really hateful fans of the Mets when they were up at bat. So that's out tomorrow too. And what else? Let's see. I got oh boy, I lost my spot. Yep, and that's it. And Smiling, that's the most from the movie happens the way it should. I think it's been confirmed. Oh, and it's confirmed. My favorite news has been confirmed. Hugh Jackman will play his iconic role as Wolverine in the upcoming Deadpool 3 movie.
Whoa.
Hopefully
I
they can
saw-
redo it right.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, it's funny. I was watching one of the ads for this, and it's got the two actors. They're sitting together on the thing, and they act like they're gonna give out all what's gonna happen in the movie, and they start talking about it, and then music starts playing over top of it, and they're just talking, and you can't hear what they're saying. It's funny.
They weren't a movie before, which was horrible, but Deadpool just wasn't the Deadpool we all know and love from the comics. So now they have a chance to make it right.
Oh, fingers crossed.
I hope so. If anything like that, it should be good. Hopefully Wolverine will give him a run for his money. And Space 1999 fans, let's jump into the Eagle and pick up a new book on this series called Maybe There, The Lost Stories from Space 1999. It'll be coming at bookstores out in November.
We're thinking of
I'm trying to get into that series in space, but I know it's on Vudu. I tried to watch a couple of times. I'm like, I just like the campy alien creatures. So
it's a different, it's British. It's a British sci-fi, and it's very much paced in the context of when it was made and where it was made. And as a kid, you're watching it. At least I remember watching it, and it was a little bit slow. And like you said, it's when he brought the aliens on, it added a different element to it. So I don't know, the beginning, the first a couple episodes, it just seems like it drags a little bit. But I don't know. I didn't get too far into rewatching it, but it's Space 1999. It's still kind of cool.
Yeah. And this next series is Black Adam. DC's putting a lot of money into this series.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out on October 14th, I think, in movie theaters.
It says 21st, but
Rock.
It could be changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take it from me.
Yeah. There was a lot with distribution and release on that. So
is that The Rock?
It can change, but it's going to probably be one of the series. Probably going to be a couple more series on it. So we shall see. It's coming out October 21st.
Looks like Pierce Brosnan too, huh?
Pierce Brosnan is going to play the Vision. Vision. He puts a hat on and turns into a different hero, like an old superhero, but he disappears. It's called the Vision. A couple of the Hawkman's going to be in it, and I think the Flash might be in it. We don't know. Hopefully, he's not in jail. Guy that playing the Flash
no kidding.
Still around. And that should be it. Let's see. And also another book out in November. The Star Wars High Republic book is out. It's coming out this month, called Star Wars Path to the Seat. It's about the old Republic Jedis, and they come across a cult, and they try to fight them and see what happens in it. But that's going to be out on shelves October 4th.
Wow.
And New York Comic Con is this week. I'll probably see you guys there Friday and Saturday. I'll be there. I'll go with you. Maybe we can hit the Peacock stand and see get some answers about this Battlestar Galactica series they keep throwing at us.
Get violent with them.
Yeah, just like all the toxic fans.
We do a sit-in.
We live up to it.
Do a sit-in.
One of those movies when the guy's like, I would be doing the service to me and all these people if I don't get answers to it,
Oh boy, yeah. No, hey, look, let's do it. Let's see what we can come up with. I know last year, John, we met up and we interviewed the NASA group.
Yeah.
We did some cosplay together.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of stuff. So let's. So if anybody else, is a good point. Now we'll bring it up. If any of you guys are going to be at New York Comic Con, give us a heads up. We met some of you at Fanboy Expo in Knoxville. Had such a great time.
Yes.
So if any of you are going to be at New York Comic Con, let's meet up. Let's take some pictures. Hopefully, we get to sit down and talk, and that'd be really, really cool. We're going to go after cosplay. We'll do the regular stuff, John. We'll hit up the Artist Alley, right, Chris?
Yep.
And we'll do authors. We'll dig up all the cream of the crop. We always tend to find some of the cutting edge of everything that's out there. So we'll bring it to you, including, of course, the cosplay. Now this year, Chris, we were trying to do a little bit more cosplay coverage. I'm not sure what's going to happen with New York Comic Con because we
don't want to talk about that because I haven't talked to you about it yet. But
yeah, it's a whole.
I was not happy this afternoon when they reopened the.
Oh yeah, they're
line thing.
They have a new system. They're trying to play a new app and stuff, and so I don't know how that's going to play. we may not get to
We didn't.
participate.
I tried.
Yeah, we didn't get in. See, yeah, that's what I
So
was
we
afraid
can get them
of.
outside, but they were sold out already within 30 minutes.
Well, that's pretty
Not
crazy.
sold
All right,
out.
well,
Yeah, they were.
we'll make the best
You
of it.
couldn't get
We'll
in.
try it out. It's yeah, so we'll give it a shot. So great. John will hook up. Looking forward to the con.
I went there last time. The first time was great. I'm hooked on it.
Hey. All right, sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, so we'll coordinate. Again, anybody that's coming, please let us know. We'd like to meet up with you. We'll do like a photo op, and all right, we're gonna have a good time.
All right. And Hocus Pocus 2 comes out tomorrow on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Nice.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah, you can be watching.
Yep.
I'm sure of that. Yep. All
I
right.
have to call the
Sounds
daughter
good.
and we can watch it. She can get on the phone. We can watch it together.
John, thanks so much, man, as usual. Right. Thank you. Great job. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, we'll looking forward to the next revolution of your ship and alignment of ours, and having you back on, and we're gonna have a good time. So
Okay.
Jeff says thanks for the report, John. Always awesome. So
Thank you.
Great. Take care.
all right, John. We'll
Okay,
talk to you
guys.
soon.
Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, so let's see. We got stuff going on, right? We have on my end, I have liberated and captured this Vulpa Gold Centurion, and
I have an idea for a movie now.
Yeah.
You know what the movie is? At night, Volpa creeps out of his box
Yeah.
and walks around Pete's
And
area and sabotages things. You're gonna find
Don't worry.
You're gonna find him with a stab wound.
Don't worry. I got Captain Martin. We should take Captain Martin with us.
Yeah.
You can bring your Cylon?
I can. I gotta find
Baz.
him.
What's up? Find him. Bring him. We're gonna bring him to the con. We're gonna bring Captain Martin and Red Eye to the convention. So Baz, what's up?
He's been fiberglassing last I looked on Baz. He's been doing a lot.
So thanks for tuning in, Baz. Let him go. Let him go free. Right. Okay. Well, I don't know about letting everybody go free, but here it is. I'm gonna open up the box. Chris, we put up the sale, right?
Yeah.
There was a sale.
That was a heck of a sale.
And, right?
Yeah.
It was real. It was like 44% off.
44% off, and that was Anavos jackets. So I purchased a couple more Anavos jackets too. Look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, this is cool.
Make sure you read that and put it to memory, sir.
Look at this. Yes, I'm going to look for all the weak spots in the Cylon armor. Here is all the inside information on it. So I will make sure that I will know how to blow them up. One shot, one kill. Oh, look at this.
Yep.
This is cool. Right now, I know that
I really do wish that they would have kept with the Vulpa idea of being him the bad guy.
Yeah, it'd have been cool. But yeah, I think so. So this booklet is just really well done. The only thing that always gets me is why couldn't they use the actual
the original? I don't know. They probably didn't own the rights to it.
Yeah, they probably don't. But anyway, so that's the booklet. And I don't know if anybody else got it. I did not buy this when it came out originally. So when Tipsy Toaster gave me a heads up that this was on sale, right? I said, all right, well, it's 44% off. And guys, this is
gorgeous on that,
really, really cool, right? I mean, right, the detail is superb. Right, look at that. That's just awesome. So 44% off, man. What the hey? I definitely jumped all over it. Classic Centurion on the bottom there. Gold Command variant. And of course he has his
And you feel that rifle, it's heavy. It's
actually
metal.
this is not that heavy.
No?
No. This
mine
one
was
feels like
metal.
it's plastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure, mine was a metal one.
You'll see. You'll see.
I already have one. Actually, I have two now.
No, but when you come over, you'll see this. This is not. You tell me when you got yours, you're saying that it's like really heavy. This is not. This is.
Huh.
No, maybe it's a second run or something. It feels like it's plastic, just hard plastic, which is okay. So, yeah, there you go, everybody. So, for those of you who jumped on the site, Chris, which was,
Cell Geek.
yeah, they had it up. I don't know if they have any left. Obviously,
And the sale's over, so.
yeah, sales over. Eagle Moss. Well, we put it up. We put it up
wait a
on our
minute.
site.
Mediocre
and,
says they're still on sale.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
I have to check. Also, if you might want to, if the jackets are still on sale for $198, you jump on one of those.
Yeah. This book, Rob Conkey, this book comes with the figure. I'm not sure where you can get this separate. I don't even know. Eagle Moss basically is gone.
Yep, they're out of business.
They're out of business. So when, like I had not gotten this, I have limited shelf space. So, but when I saw the sale on, Tipsy Toaster told me, I was like, yeah, I gotta get this. It would, especially since it's the quote gold variant, right? It's the, it's the Vulpa figure. I couldn't pass that up, guys.
Hey, could you imagine what it would have been like if they would have kept Vulpa as the bad guy? I know if you read, we read number 2, Cylon Death Machine, where Vulpa is featured throughout that book, and Baltar is not. So, and that's I think that would have been a great, he would have been a great a hero in my end, but anti-hero in yours.
Hero, yeah, but I think they could have brought him on if they really wanted to.
I think so too, but I mean, he was in a couple of shows, and then they stopped. I was like, man, and especially the way they wrote in. If you haven't had a chance, you can go back and watch some of our episodes for book versus episode in regards to Cylon Death Machine, which was done on Ice Planet Zero. But
Fran says I bought the jacket full price right after Awesome Con. Fran, we also bought the jacket.
Yeah, I bought it the full price too. So
yeah, we pre-ordered.
I bought mine full price in 2017 or 2018 when they first announced and waited 3 years for them to come out.
Yeah. So we paid. Trust we feel your pain, but Chris jumped on it, got another one, one more.
2.
Yeah, one. God, okay.
They were so cheap. I have one that I can wear around and get dirty and not worry about it, and I have one on a shelf in the plastic bag still.
Way to go, Tipsy Toaster! You got to put, the Martin's.
I thought about that, but I have another jacket that I got that was cheap. It's not as good. It's a cheaper jacket that I'm going to put Martin's Battlestar stuff on it.
Yeah, that's the suede one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that was the unboxing. Now, if you guys remember last year when the Cylon, the gold Cylon, the Vulpa statue had come out originally, Chris had actually gotten that.
Yeah, we did an overhead shot on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did an overhead. Chris, you actually have the regular Cylon Centurion as well. So we done that, but I just got mine. So Lola, you bought 2 of what? What did you buy 2 of? I want to know. It's the red color as from Richard's pilot. The classic brown is no longer available. What?
They have a red one?
What you talking about, Fran?
What you talking about, Fran?
It's the red color as from Richard's pilot. What jacket do you have?
I don't have that one.
Fran, take a picture. We want to see. Yeah. We have to see this now.
You got a red one. That's nice. I've seen green ones. There's a green one out there. I've seen the red one. I haven't personally seen the red one. I've seen the video parts of the red one.
As a matter of fact, Chris Feehan, when he was doing the Battlestar Galactica fan club, somebody in that group that he was with had one made up, and I believe it was black with blue trim, as if the bridge crew got them. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Was so cool. So cool. So.
Once again, that's something you can do as a fan. You don't have to buy the perfect Anivos jacket. You can, if you got sewing skills, or somebody's got sewing skills, and you want a specific color jacket, by God, you can make it yourself, and you can do your own patch or whatever else. I'd make a Cylon jacket, silver and black.
We just got a quick. Let's see, Fran.
Yeah,
the
the
jacket,
maroon
Richard's
reddish.
uniform jacket was maroon.
Yeah, the
reddish.
series was beige brown.
Beige brown. You
Richard's
have the
was
maroon
red.
one. You got the reddish one.
Oh.
Oh, we got to see pictures of that. William, what con should host Battlestar Galactica's anniversary? Dragon Con, Rhode Island, etc. It's Dragon Con.
We're working for Dragon. I mean, it's not official.
But
but we have a lot of people who are going to Dragon Con for the 45th anniversary.
FedCon got 13 cast members in 2018.
Who did?
Who did?
What con?
13 cast members
FedCon?
from FedCon from the Reimagined.
Yeah.
Fran says that's what they sent? Oh, Fran, please take a picture. We have to see this because we want to see a picture. Anyway,
so,
FedCon Germany, yes.
Oh,
FedCon Germany, yeah, we knew about that. Right now, we are supporting Team BSG Viper, plus all of the fans to go down to Dragon Con next 2023. There was a great turnout, right, Chris?
I mean, we had a pretty good turnout this year. We had like 6 Cylons.
So we're looking to see if we can push steer Dragon Con a little bit. For those of you that watched our anniversary show that we did, we had Eric Larson on, and we kind of put it out, and Eric is open. So again, we're going to try to steer Dragon Con over.
Yep, I'm in contact with the Dragon Con people, and actually I got one of the Dragon Con people to get a hold of Team BSG Viper, and they are working together. As last I heard, they're working together to get the full-size Viper there. So
we'll have to find out cool.
what Carl will have to give us a heads up on what's going on with that. So I sent out Carl. Carl's working on that, and so they're lined up. So the next thing after we get the idea that that's coming, maybe we can push them in another direction and say, well, the Viper's there, and it's the 45th anniversary.
Yeah,
you might want to invite blah 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 blah. And then push them in that direction. Yep, Carl says they're working. That's great. And like I said, if we're here to help in any way, shape, or form we can.
So we're doing our part. We have tickets. I bought my tickets. Chris already had his. I guess you bought, you automatically buy them.
I do. I do. As soon as you buy them at the end, as soon as the con ends, you buy the next one. Yeah. I said, I've been there since 2015. So. You go to one. I warn you now. If you do go this year, you're gonna go back next year.
45th anniversary and 20th of the Reimagined.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that would be one heck of a get together. So I don't know.
So Baz will have his done, and we'll fly it in.
Fran's got her tickets. Let's do this. Fran's coming down. So we're gonna have a great time, guys. So hoping that everybody can. Our own George G. He's thinking about flying down at least for the day. So we're getting a team together. I think we're gonna have a really, really good time. We're gonna try to host the panel, right, Chris?
Bass says send a C-17 over. Sure, C-17 will work, but maybe a C-130 or C-141.
C-130 for you, a C-130, Baz. Let's see what we can do. Pick up the Mark II. Imagine that. Wow, that would be something.
I don't have connections in the military anymore. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
a military Mac flights.
Mary Capizzi, I'm going for the first time. You're coming to Dragon Con?
Oh, Mary, you're in for a treat.
Wow. We're gonna have a great time at Dragon Con. I mean, look, the truth be told, right? Baz says, what am I, a peasant? Of course you're not. You just fly that thing over here. Elon Musk will get it to fly. Yes, he will. But Mary, what all the cons that we've been to, Chris and I, so full disclosure, I've mentioned this earlier at other shows that my first convention was in 1977. But I got to tell you, When Chris and I get together, we've hung out with Paul, and we've seen a whole bunch of you now. We've met up with some of you at some of the cons, and we have a great time. So Dragon Con just makes it even better when we see you guys. Let the reservations open for hotels.
Keep an eye on different. I think Fran, if I find it, I'll send it to you. They have a whole. Well, they have Dragon. You go to DragonCon.com and go to. Also, they have there's multiple different Dragon Con Facebook groups. There's the Carpet Facebook group, and there's the Carpetsaurus Facebook groups and everything else. But the Facebook group I think you're going to be looking for is rooms at Dragon Con. That's one of the things that you look for. Now, we call that may the odds be ever so in your favor, because it is the Hunger Games when it comes down to trying to get rooms from the host hotels. I gave up. There are host hotels that have perpetual rooms, and every so once in a while somebody gives one of those up, and you grab one of those and you keep it forever, and then every year you update it. You don't have to what word am I looking for? You don't have to re-up. You don't have to re-up. You don't have to go back in and ask for the room again. It automatically is yours every single year. You don't have to play the Hunger Games anymore. But those rooms are few and far between. So the Hunger Games comes on, and they come out and they'll open those up. And then of course there's just rooms that they normally have at the con price. Now, I'll tell you right now, the con price is not cheap, because they do like to jack the rates up. I've stayed at a host hotel twice, one at the Marriott, which is the hotel to get, but I just had to do it one time, and it was $500 a night. Way expensive for a crappy little room. So, and they don't accept points. So I'm a big Marriott. I travel a bit, so I use Marriott rewards a lot. So I found a hotel close by, within walking distance type deal that accepted points. So I was good there. So, but there are a number of hotels around that area. Don't concentrate just on the host hotels. Look at the other ones as well, especially like the Aloft and those kind of things. Go and look now. Seriously, start looking right now, because people will fill those rooms up. I've already got my hotel room, mainly because it's the same hotel I used last year, and I just walked up to the counter and said, look, I like the hotel. I have the points. Can you just go ahead and renew it for next year? He says, well, it's not available yet, but we'll take your name down. And then as soon as it comes out, they called me back and said, okay, yeah, those rooms are now we can now reserve for that time frame, because it's a year out you're looking at. And so I reserved for that, but I'm staying at a hotel that accepted points. If that hotel did not accept points, I could not afford to stay there, because it is a Marriott autograph. And it's like $1,000 a night. And I was like,
oh boy, stop
no
bragging.
way I could do that.
Don't
But
brag.
I wanted a hotel that had a refrigerator and a stove and all other stuff. So that was just me. But
You know what?
look
I
at those
noticed-
hotels around there. There's a number of Marriott hotels around there. There's a number of Aloft, I believe, is with the Hilton Group. So if you've got points or something like that, or you use one of their cards every year to get points, then look for those hotels there, and then you'll find something there. And there's, even if it's a little far out, you can car in if you want to. I will walk. So like I said, my hotel's probably about a mile at the most, which is closer than I stayed before. I stayed 1.5 miles away and walked in. And I won't do that again. Walking in a Cylon suit does not work for 1.5 miles.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. However, Chris, there are hotels that are around.
Oh yeah,
that
around the
are not
outside. Yeah,
centralized.
it's not
Yeah.
just. Yeah, don't. But just I would say don't concentrate. Well, the safe bet. Speaking from a person who does this every year, the safe bet is to go ahead and get a hotel that's around the area, reserve it, and go ahead and compete in the games. You know, may the odds be ever in your favor. If you happen to get one of those, then you can cancel the reservation. Not a problem. But if you don't have a reservation and you play the game, and then the game's over and everybody starts scrambling looking for a place to go, you may not have a place that's close enough by within a reason it has a decent price.
Yeah.
And and if you're single or something like that, like I think Fran and somebody else is going to try to work, I don't want to say live together. It's not the right word. Shack up's not the right word either. Share a room. There we go. That's what I was trying to try to share rooms. There are lots of people that do that. And as a matter of fact, sometimes they overshare the rooms. Like there'll be 8 people in a small room.
Boy.
Technically, that's not allowed, but they're going in there. And then some people, I mean, Dragon Con goes on 24 hours. Some people just sleep wherever they can find a spot. So normally, like at 2:00 in the morning, they are playing movies in some rooms, and people just go in there and sleep instead. So, and some people just don't sleep at all. But we do appreciate those people who do take showers. Axe body spray is not a substitute for a shower.
You can hot rack, says Chris. Hey, Chris, man, thanks for joining us. Chris Laskowski from Down Under. Lola, you got to get online. And they have, you do the whole thing off their website. It'd be great if you can come down. Fran sent Chris, she sent you an IM of a photo of the jacket. If you get a chance, see if we can, I'd love to see what that's about. Jeff says he's going to just get a tent. Good luck, my friend, because you'll be lucky if
you can camp out with the homeless out there.
Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, Lola, go Google Dragon Con 2023, and it's there. I have a van. You have a van? Okay.
In a van down by the river.
Yeah. Lola can room with me. Lola, there you go. Fred's hooking it up. Awesome, Fred. Chris, can you
split the cost? It makes it a whole lot better.
Yeah. Charlene, you get the tickets on the website, dragoncon.org. Thank you, Charlene.
That looks like the same jacket we got. Hang on. Yeah, that's the same one. Blue inside. Yeah.
That's the one we got. That's the one we have. Yeah, it's all a matter of the light. I don't know what kind of light you're putting on it. It's all about the light. Yeah, that's one we got.
And of course, look at the top there. It's got horses.
Horses. That's yes.
Franz wrote a book about horses, by the way.
Yep,
so
she wrote a book on. Yep, out. That's right. That's what I said. No, the homeless. There are a lot of them. I was there. Probably some free soup kitchen. Can you imagine full can? I was there a few years ago. Jeff went to Atlanta and did the movie tour. And we stayed at the Peachtree Inn, and boy, let me tell you, there's a lot of homeless there, and it's
a decent weather, so
yeah, I know what that's like. So, but all right, it comes with the turf, guys. So we're gonna have a great time. Chris, there's I'm not sure what there was a couple. It looks a lot darker than what I see on the series. Fran, if you read the history,
Anavos says that's the exact thing. I'm not sure I believe him because I don't believe the series had blue on the inside, but
yeah, they didn't have blue on the inside. That's a fact. Quality is great. Yeah, the lead up to the Anavos Battlestar Galactica jacket, there is a couple of Facebook groups dedicated to what was going on. A friend of ours, Mr. Romaj, he actually he actually put together one of the. I'll let that go. We invited him to come over onto the show. Hopefully, one day we'll get him to have him talk
hard
about.
To see, but
yeah, but
there's the jacket's not probably lit well on that, but
Yeah, it's not lit well. But there was so Anivos had a whole big to do on their website on how accurate, and they were working their way up to, quote, releasing the jacket. And they supposedly had gotten their hands on a screen used Battlestar Galactica Colonial Warrior jacket, took pictures, put it up, and worked their way through the material, the threads, the colors.
the
They
patch.
gelled.
They even
Yeah,
went.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
they
say that
did.
one thing about the patch. The patch is really shiny.
Yeah. So they took pictures under different light, and compared the materials that they were getting, and then they supposedly had to actually contract to have the buckles made for them because they weren't being manufactured by anyone. So they went through supposedly a lot of steps, and then
Yep.
somewhere along the way they had a cash flow problem. I think they had a sourcing problem, and it took them years. The rumors that were out there, Better Business Bureau had gotten involved. There was a lawsuit involved. The rumor was that they were uh, taking orders for small batch runs of various franchised items that they were getting supposedly the license for, and then using the money for that to keep the business going and then fund other things. And all the pre-orders that they had taken for the Battlestar Galactica jackets, people were cashing out, and I was one of them as well. I was asking for a refund, and then it went back and forth. They told me that they were going to give it to me. I tried to negotiate out of it, and in the end, they wouldn't give me my money back, and so I put in a claim against them with the Better Business Bureau, thinking that I would never see my money. And there's a Facebook group, a couple of them that were, we were all banded together, and we finally got the jackets. I don't know, the blue. Yeah, that
Fran
whole
said
blue thing.
she's got publicity photos of Dirk, and there is a blue lining.
That's interesting because I
don't think every single jacket had a blue lining. More than likely,
if there were any, they weren't all. So
Right.
Who knows? I mean, we're not going to say that they're totally wrong, but some of the bulk of the pictures that we have seen, including autographed pictures from some of the stars, like I have a Dirk Benedict as Starbuck, and he's leaning over, and his you could see a little bit inside the jacket, and it's definitely not blue. But I mean, come on, that blue.
Well, we ought to reach out to the person who made the darn thing. Well, he didn't make them; he designed them.
He designed them, but we could actually reach out to him. But anyway, we got the jacket.
Oh, by the way,
story,
Anivos is no longer
you know.
existent. So
Yeah, they don't exist.
They went out of
either
business.
way, it's a good jacket. I mean, it's a nice jacket.
You can get one of those jackets. Get it now because they're not making them again.
Jacket, all said and done, it's a nice jacket.
It is a very nice jacket.
And if nobody sees the lining, you know what? It looks really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got them. It is what it is. Now we got to wear them, right? So now that we have them, let's wear them. So that's a good.
But I want to make sure. I kind of want to reach out and say, look, if you got an Anivos jacket, it's really, it's really nice and it's perfect and it's screen accurate and everything else. But if you got a jacket you got off of Sky or whatever else, we don't care.
Yeah, no, yeah. No,
if it's off brown or a little brown, it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, no.
It's representing, so I like to present. Maybe that person was in the fleet a little longer, or maybe the jacket, the jackets that were getting made for the flight jackets were not as they couldn't. They had to go to the what was the Valcron at the tip barge. Maybe we went to the tip barge and they didn't have the right color. So
yeah, no. Listen, that's not. We're just we're just talking here about.
So don't
the jackets. We really haven't
feel
gotten
like you have to do that too.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Do what you can. Do what you can afford.
Yeah,
support your fandom is the way you want to do it. Cosplay your way.
Cosplay your way. But there's a way to get a set from China. You just got to put on the right buckles, and it comes with the tans, and the jacket's good enough. I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
Just a
I'd
roll of tinfoil wrapped around me. If
Could do
you,
it.
if you, Jeff, if you wear the helmet and then the rest is all tinfoil, I'm gonna laugh my butt off. That's gonna be really cool. I'm okay with that. Paper mache with tinfoil on it'll be perfect.
Yep, there are people 3D printing
Oh yeah.
Cylons
yeah.
out there. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't matter. To me, I don't think in my Cylon mind, in my Cylon world, not all of them are chrome. There were some stealth Cylons, maybe some black ones.
Oh boy. Well, there is. Well, we read it.
Yeah.
We read it in Armageddon. There are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a golden chrome. Nice, Jeff.
Is it gold and chrome or a gold and a chrome? Just kidding.
Nice.
Mix
Yeah,
them
okay.
together. Really confuse the snot out of all the other Cylons.
Black.
No,
Make it
we
all
don't
black.
salute. I don't know if I salute that one or not.
Whole thing all black. Yeah. So.
And then
I
there
don't know,
was
bring it
the,
on.
you know, you could do
Bring it
pink ones too if you want. You know, breast cancer
not?
awareness. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Be awesome.
They
Be
do stormtroopers at Dragon Con. There's a cult called the Marriott carpet cult. There was a carpet
Yes.
at the Marriott
Yes.
that was god awful ugly, and it was a pattern that was only owned by Marriott. And are we still broadcasting? Oh, I just hit
We
pause.
better be.
Okay. So yeah, you were over on my other screen, like I was like, uh-oh. But they have a Marriott carpet cult. They have different cults. There's the cult of John. Look, you can look up the Marriott cult. You can look up the cult of John, the potato cult. There's all sorts of different quote unquote cults at Dragon Con, but the one I'm talking about is a Marriott carpet cult. The fans got so upset that Marriott pulled out the carpet that they bought the pattern from the company that had it. So now that Marriott carpet pattern is owned by Dragon Con, and they have a cult, and they have a stormtrooper who did the entire outfit in the Marriott carpet. People with dresses with the Marriott carpet. There's the blow up dinosaurs. There's a big cult of the Tyrannosaurus Rexes, and they buy Tyrannosaurus Rexes with the Marriott carpet pattern on it, and they meet up and they run around. Yeah, I've got some video on our page where you can see some of the just a small group of them. When it gets going, you're looking at 50 to 60 blow up dinosaurs while running around the Marriott or wherever else that's going, and they just run through everything, and they just do loops into the different hotels, and they go from outside. They'll go from hotel to hotel. It's amazing.
Wow.
it's so much zany comedy, fun stuff.
Fran just put up a really interesting comment. She said, I read an interview with Dirk. He was talking about the first scenes where the guys were in the wardroom and just had towels over their shoulders. He said that it was because they didn't have costumes made yet, so they figured this would look like a realistic way the guys would chill out and let us get a good look at Herb Jefferson. Nice eye candy. Yeah, hey, I mean, anything goes. This is a reality of shooting something. Sometimes, they were at a breakneck speed when they were doing BSG, and sometimes I guess things just didn't get made fast enough. I know that happened with the original Star Trek as well. I remember reading something about how they had to like secretly outsource the making of some of their shirts because they could not afford to get enough of those shirts made. So they would they would go to other seamstresses that they knew, and they would throw them in a paper bag out the window after they paid for them, and bring them back to Paramount because they just they couldn't or Desilu at the time, I guess they couldn't afford to have them made through contract because they were just too expensive and it was over budget. So these things happen all the time. But yeah, I'm glad I got my jacket. I actually have, like Chris, I have 3 of them now. 4, including my Starlog Colonial Warrior jacket. I would love to get one of those, even though the colors are totally off. I would definitely love to get one that
Yeah, it's
I could
almost
fit
tan.
into. Yeah, I love it. There was a steeplechase video I've seen. So yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff. Also, there's a DVD of a sci-fi like documentary that's out there. And is it Sean mentioned that there's Galactica in it? We should look into that. I know that there's been multiple documentaries released.
That's something
So I'd like to.
Yeah, that's something that kills me is, where's the Battlestar Galactica documentary?
Oh, the closest we get is what came out on the Blu-ray, right?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
that's not documentary. That's more of a,
well, no, but that's what I'm saying.
like, it's like behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
Why isn't one of these? You see, all these people putting what is it, the money fundraising for the aliens one is just the most recent one. Oh, they're having we're going to go through and we're going to interview all the aliens people and do all this stuff. And
Yeah.
where's the Battlestar Galactica one?
Yeah, Sean told us on the chat that Light and Magic was fantastic and several mentions of Battlestar Galactica. So,
Hopefully
there's
they weren't
stuff
negative,
out
like
there.
they stole stuff from us.
Nah, of course. I thought it was advertising Famous Monsters, not Starlog. The jacket, Rob, was definitely in Starlog. That's how I got
The comic
mine.
books too, isn't it?
Don't know. I can tell you definitely for fact Starlog, 'cause that's how I got mine. Famous Monsters is a possibility, but speaking from my personal experience, I got the one I got was through Starlog advertising. I'm sure they advertised in other places, but
Oh, sure.
yeah, it could be that they had them in Famous Monsters as well, Rob. Maybe one of these days I'll pull some of those out, and maybe we'll see if they had any, because they could have ran those. They ran that ad for a long time. I never knew that they made like the advertisement has adults in it as well, but I never knew an adult that ever bought one of those. I have a Starlog jacket. Jeff, there you go. I still have mine. I know that there's one of the guys, Francoeur. He actually got his hands on an adult size one. 1988, when I was shipping out to England, I saw an entire rack of the jackets in Macy's. They were $90, but I was shipping out overseas, and that was more than I could afford. I have regretted it for 20 years.
Oh, no.
Really? You saw them in the store? That's insane. That's crazy. Was that the suede one, Fran? Did you see the suede one? Because I think I remember seeing the suede one was out. Did anyone ever see the rubber masks they sold? Jeff, do you mean the Halloween masks? Because
I remember the plastic ones that had the eye holes.
Plastic ones, yeah. That. Didn't you have one as a kid, Chris?
I did, yeah.
You did, right? Did you have the Cylon?
Of course I did.
You did? Wow, that's cool. I never even knew that they made those.
The Colonial Warrior.
Never even knew. Hard to remember. Might have been. Yeah, I think those were the suede ones. I do remember that they did come out with something that looked almost exactly like it. But yeah. Anyway, we've been holding out the official Battlestar Galactica scrapbook.
Oh, yes.
This book.
Pull up my notes.
It's awesome. I have notes too. However, you know what, Chris? I'm going to actually set this up by starting out with the last paragraph, right? So, for those of you that have this, this is I consider this a really, really great book. It's official, right? It's the official Battlestar Galactica scrapbook, licensed by Universal, written by James Neyland, who passed away in, I believe it's 2012, unfortunately. And it's, you got, because there's a prologue, The State of the Galaxy, Creating a Galaxy, The Art of Battlestar Galactica, The Good People from the Battlestar, The Weak and the Wicked, which is, of course, the Cylons, very cool, The Impact of Battlestar Galactica, and the epilogue. However, so Chris confirmed unfortunately, that the author passed. And there's a little tribute to him. I believe that was from his high school, put that up in honor of his memory. So
Yeah,
it's too
Mr.
bad.
Neyland earned a reputation as a writer
Yeah.
and author for major New York publishers. In his career, he wrote the Carter Family Scrapbook, a close-up of President Carter's family, which was published in '77. He was a biographer, Academy Award winner Betty Davis, and movie Frank Capra. He was also director of film. It's a Wonderful Life. Mr. Neyland also wrote the Battlestar Galactica Scrapbook, and Politics, Fat Cats, and Honey Money Boys, which focused on the life and career of Jerry Sadler. So he was from Texas.
Oh, wow. So the first chapter, right? It's here's the setup, because when you're reading it, for those of you that read it, it's kind of it's almost like a third person, but he explains his perspective and how he put it together in the final paragraph of that first chapter. And it says, the preceding report on the state of the galaxy was filed by an extremely gullible Earth human who genuinely believed that what he watched on his home television screen was indeed reality. It is important to point out that Battlestar Galactica is not reality, but the work of highly skilled artisans. It is not life, but art. And so
Hearsay.
it's interesting, because obviously it sounds like he was affected, right? He,
Yeah.
like us, he saw the show, and he he got to write it. And that first chapter is written as if it's a report on the state of affairs.
Yeah, state of the galaxy,
You know,
in on Earth as well. It was in the
yeah.
out there.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, come on, it's not usually done that way, right? It's an unusual take. I liked it a lot.
It's a
especially
definitely
after that.
unusual take. It does a lot. I like it because it does a lot of comparison. That's kind of why we titled tonight's episode is a little bit of the Greek stuff that he put into there, as well as a lot of the philosophy that you can compare whether it was intentional or not. I don't know if that's the case, but you can compare a lot of the Battlestar Galactica 1978 to Earth and Humans, which is kind of interesting the way he did all the comparison. But so, well, first of all, go ahead.
Well, the idea was that, when you watch the show and you hear, the strings attached to, there is, through the titles, the names, the words that they use. So it invokes a little bit of, like ancient, mythology and ancient history. But, James Neyland, he actually points it out in black and white. Right. So it's one thing to say, oh, well, obviously there's Apollo and, Cassiopeia, and, these names harken back to, Greek mythology. But he kind of lays it out. And on top of that, I mean, so many years have gone by and most of us have read all this stuff that we realize that it was intentionally set up that way, especially, through interviews that Glenn Larson gave. And then, of course, Eric Larson himself remembers growing up and how his father would look all this stuff up. Like, he'd go to the encyclopedia knowing what he's got an idea, and he wants to, research it, and he wants to make sure that, the names he's picking come from a very specific point of view. Right. And so that's not only the archetypes that he's picking, he's choosing the names because they have a representation. And
and we'll discuss some of that tonight, actually.
Yeah, Neyland brings that up. So I thought that was kind of cool. So when we were kids and I read this, it's just incredible, Chris. I was like, wow.
So I want to point out that the front cover has no Cylons on it. No Cylon representation on the front cover.
Nope,
So this
not at all.
is colonial propaganda. Moving on.
Wow. Okay,
First page, I like it. So I love this, and I pointed out to Pete. Pete said I never noticed it before.
Yes,
So,
I did not. And
I was looking at the picture, and let's see if anybody catches it out there. What's wrong with this photo?
That's kind of hard. That's hard. Stop moving it.
I'm gonna try to get all of it in there. So
The hell's there? You go. Just right there.
okay.
All right. Look at Apollo, the Book of the Word. Paul, if I didn't see you there earlier, I think you were there, but Paul, thank you for joining us. Commander Kane, a good friend of
Robert
ours, and Apollo has glasses. Yeah, Rob.
Right there.
Is that insane?
Oops, whoop, over there.
Yeah, right there. Yes.
So this was evidently
Rob,
a picture that was taken as a
behind the scenes.
as a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
So because he's got glasses on there, and he does wear glasses, but
he does.
They didn't do that, so that was kind of interesting.
Cool. Very cool.
And there's a better picture. I think that's the same size. So
Commander Kane, thank you for joining us. Of course. Yeah, there it is. And so they must be going over the scene,
probably going over their lines or something, or talking about how the scene's supposed to go. Richard's got his glasses on.
Yeah, so cool. I don't ever remember seeing that. Chris pointed that out. I was like, hey, whoa, that's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, so
ready? The prologue, Chris. Right?
Yeah, it starts out in the beginning as normal.
Yeah.
So we to honor it, we should read the prologue.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna open it. It says, there are those who believe that life here began out there, far across the universe, with tribes of humans who may have been the forefathers of the Egyptians, or the Toltecs, or the Mayans. Some believe that there may yet be brothers of man who, even now, fight to survive somewhere beyond the heavens. I get goosebumps. So one of the very first photos in the is a Cylon drawing. Finally,
that's the Ravishol Pulsar. That's not Cylon. That's not Cylon.
You're right. It isn't a Cylon. It wouldn't have blown up if it wasn't. If it was a Cylon.
No, it's not Cylon.
Cylon design would not have exploded
Cylons
like that.
They conquered that world, that planet, destroyed the world, and
who conquered it?
Took over.
Who was there when you showed up?
The human scientists were there. Ravishol and his team were there, and they're the last
enslaved.
Enslaved by the Cylons.
Exactly. So the Cylons had already taken it over.
They
didn't conquer anything.
Made it
and then when we fired it, faulty human design, it blew up.
Okay.
That's my story.
I'm glad it blew up, and that's Vulpa's dead, and sucks for him.
Oh, Vulpa did not die.
Well, I believe Vulpa's dead.
Well, if you read the book, he escaped.
That doesn't mean he survived.
What, did he die flying away?
So at some point he died.
They never die. They were just rebuilt.
Oh, just like we read Lucifer downloading or uploading his consciousness. That's cool. That was cool. Book. They took that right into, they pulled that right from there to the Reimagined. So
so I really like the so it starts out, somewhere in the universe. It talks about the galaxy, and it kind of gets you to the point where you're thinking about how you were watching it as a kid and how he was watching it as a kid. But one of the things I did love was one of the very first paragraphs. It talks about the possibility of the time difference. So the time on Earth and the time in the show, what could have been the differences? And he's like, maybe they're farther away. Maybe this was in the future. Maybe the Earth was in the past. Maybe the 13th tribe came in the past. And then I love that kind of stuff because I'm really big into some of the Atlantean type things. The theory of Atlantis and all the different stories that have come out in regards to, for instance, the big flood. We've got the Bible has the big flood, and the Toltecs and the Mayans, and everybody has got a version of the exact same thing, and it almost matches the exact story. And of course, all the time frames differ. Like the one for Jesus's days are are old or younger than they're older ones by the Toltecs that say the same thing. So really cool stuff. It's kind of gets that mind going. Is that, hey, is this, could there have been, and I just got finished listening to 2001, by the way. Could there be, could there have been somebody who came from the heavens and fueled or started our population in the intelligence wise? So it's kind of neat thoughts, and I'm not going to jump on anybody's religion or anything like that. I don't want to say anything bad, but I think it's kind of interesting. He says, maybe these people were, here a millennia ago and then left. So, that's kind of do they exist the same time frame out there in space now, or is the time frame different because of the difference in light years? So I thought that was kind of neat in the beginning of it. You're smiling, Pete. What's up?
Well, I'm just looking at the chat, and everybody's chatting it up, and that's cool. But in terms of the way Neyland starts the chapter, I thought it was, now that we reread it,
yeah.
Again, just remember, Chris, that when you're reading this back in the day when Galactica was actually on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was on TV, and you're reading some of this stuff, right? It gets into stuff that you and I talked about. This wasn't really out there. The only other, it's not a magazine. It's the giant size Marvel comic book
mm-hmm.
that dedicated essays to the lore of Battlestar Galactica, right? Like they wrote stuff.
And then don't forget, then there was the fanzines that had
we're talking
lore to it. But
but in terms of actual
official, right?
Official though, the official stuff. I mean, the fanzines, that's one thing, but this is official, and so was all the interviews that Starlog and all the other famous monsters and all the other magazines were putting out. They never really got into the lore like this book did.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of cool, man. Right? I mean, the perspective of this is just, the chapter has some pretty cool stuff. I made some notes as well. I know that you were offended because they didn't start out with talking about Cylons right off the bat, and it bothered you. But
no, it bothered me. It's
too bad.
We'll get into it. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, you said that that you were, that you felt left out, and
no. They mention us in here. They just, the way they mention it's not right.
The way they mention it. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm quoting you correctly, you said it's propaganda.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your word. You said that the way that this book illustrates the Cylons, it's incorrect.
Right.
You
guys started the war.
Adamant about that. Off camera, you were adamant about that, and serious, and that it's propaganda, and that was how you started the conversation.
It's written for the humans.
Yes. Okay. So what I found very, very interesting is, it's written by a human that is not Boltar, so obviously it's going to have a different take, but that's beside the point. Page 12, second column. I have to read something because we also debated this, and this is interesting. Again, remember, people, this was officially licensed and released. So page 12 of the scrapbook, second column says, the largest of the spacecraft that are making their troubled way towards Earth is called a Battlestar. It is a military command ship, the only remaining one of 5 built to defend the 12 planets colonized by the humans descended from the ancient lords of Kobol. 5 built. One of 5 built.
Okay.
To defend
Ready?
the 12 planets. Yeah.
Page 14, top.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
right?
2 of the Valiant battlestars destroyed in the intergalactic battle, the Atlantia and the Pacifica.
No, above that.
Battlestar escaped destruction of Battlestar Pegasus.
That's 6. Contradicted himself. Because all the other ones were destroyed at Centaur, except for the Galactica. 1 survived. Then he comes in and says, nope, another one survived too, the Pegasus. So, I don't believe there's only 5 Battlestars. I don't believe there's only 12 Battlestars. I believe there are multiple Battlestars. There are as many Battlestars as you want them to have. Just like the book also says that there were support ships, meaning cruisers.
Yes.
It says cruisers in there.
Yes.
So that's not in the show, of course. So there was lots of things I believe that, and even Glenn Larson at one point had stated in a fan question at one of the boards, like, what are the names of the other 12 all the Battlestars? And he's like, I never said there was only 12.
Yes, that's right.
So there's more than 12.
Rob Bound points out that it seemed the book only touched upon the episodes that were in the miniseries, Saga of the Star World,
Yes.
Lost Planet of the Gods, and Gun Nice Planet Zero. Rob, you're right. I agree totally, and that probably has to do with the fact that they put this out, when they put it out, and they didn't do it at the end of the first season. They did it somewhere after, probably, getting. He probably got to see the Gun on Ice Planet Zero, or
right, because that was supposed to be number 2.
Because there's pictures in here from Gun on Ice Planet Zero.
Yeah.
Drawings,
so too.
Yeah, so they must have had advanced copies or something of that.
Then of course they had the best picture in there of all.
Oh boy. No, that's because the Pegasus wasn't there at the time of the colonies were destroyed. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
But he said only 5 Battlestars remained, and they said, oh yeah, well, 1.
No, 5 built. He says 5
built, which is not
built.
correct.
So he should have been, he didn't, but he included names. So who knows what his sources were? That's what I wanted to, Chris and I then went and looked him up to see if he was still alive. Maybe we could get in touch with him and find out what his source work was. I don't know.
Yeah, so it talks about the Battlestars. It did jump over top of something. I like.
What was that?
So you jumped over top one of the Battlestars, but whether in space or on Earth, humans face a continuing conflict between a passion for freedom,
yes,
and a compulsion for order and control.
Okay.
Which kind of gives you the Cylon perspective.
Yes.
And such extremes of individuality constitute both the greatest blessing and the most plaguing curse of humankind. Mm-hmm. Witnessing the struggle in space, even Earth humans are able to reflect upon similar problems they have faced on their own planet, which I thought was kind of, there's a lot of comparison in regards to
history,
Earth history, as well as what's going on in the show.
And the plight of the colonials and an oppressor.
Mm.
No, you don't have to vocalize the agreement. That's okay. Yeah. That was accepted the way you said it. But that's okay. That's okay.
They're only being oppressed for one reason. That's because they interfered.
It doesn't matter. What are you going to make?
And that's not mentioned.
It has nothing to do with that.
But it's not mentioned.
It's not the point.
They left out a very important thing.
Oh boy, here we go.
Cylons would not have attacked them. They wouldn't have got involved with the Hasaris.
No, the Cylons would have attacked because it's in their nature to take over everything.
And Pete thinks he can read the future because that's what's happened. So
that is exactly the nature of the Cylons. You're denying your whole. Yes, Lola, I know, right? I mean, we talked about this before the show as well, and it's always the Cylon perspective.
So
always.
We'll move on to the characters that they mention here, which is really kind of neat. And most of us know a lot of this stuff, but we'll go through it anyways. And I have, so they have a lot of Greek references in regards to Battlestar Galactica. and a couple of the ones where we've got it's not only a star system that populated men. There it is. Commander Adama, whose name is significant on Earth to Earth humans, which is Adam, like Adam and 12, Adam. But it was significant to Earth and humans because it derived from that legendary father of all humans. On Earth, Adama symbolizes the unredeemed man, as close to wisdom as human can get, but plagued by awareness of his own imperfection. He is a military leader, but he's also a man of conscience. Really great description there, actually. But he leaves a band of space pilots known as colonial warriors, and to humans and names they evoke images from their own mythology. So we all know they start with saying with Apollo. So Apollo, if you look up Apollo, he's if you look up actually I can pull it up, I think. Where's that?
Well, you're gonna hopefully the background of who the god Apollo is.
Yeah, hang on.
Let me tell you something. Mediocre Modeler wants to know: has there ever been a book or fanzine written from solely the Cylon perspective?
I would say
the
parts of the Nightmare Machine has a bit of a Cylon perspective with Lucifer and everything else. So I think some of the books have chapters that are kind of related to the Cylon perspective. But I think totally. You could have some fun and bend the Cylon perspective because of that one sentence is all he says in there. We wouldn't have had problems with the Cylons if we hadn't interfered with the Hasaris and those kind of things. So I think that was it. But anyways, back to Apollo. Apollo is the Olympian god of sun and music. It's funny that I looked this up and now I can't remember how to say it. Kalogethia?
I can't see that.
Kalokag. Hang on, I can enlarge it for you.
You should have Siri read it for you.
I did. Actually looked it up.
Oh. Let's see. Kalogethia.
Yeah. Which is a patriotic teaching consisting of the harmonious combination of body, moral, and individual spirit, or values and spirits. So, anyways, it's the Hellenic idea of that. He's in harmony. Apollo in the Greek mythology is in harmony, reason, person, and moderation personified. He is a perfect blend of physical superiority and moral virtue. A complex deity who turns up in art and literature, possibly as often as Zeus himself. Apollo is the major god that appears in the same Greek. So I think it's really neat that he's in harmony. He's the voice of reason, and he's the moderate. He's not the fly off the handle. Starbucks or fly off the handle. So I think when you look at the myth of the mythological person Apollo, and you look at the person on the screen, I think it's a very good combination of the two while Pete's typing. And he was a hunk. Actually, I think that's one of the things they say on Greek mythology. Says
was the personified spirit of nobility and goodness.
Yep, and it's he's physical. He was
Kagathos.
Yeah, he was noted for both his physical and spiritual beauty.
There you go.
So there you go, Fran. Or Lola, I'm sorry.
Wasn't there...
to Earth humans, the names these two men will invoke for their own mythology. So on Earth, Apollo was one of the ancient gods, represented the finer qualities of humans, justice, and freedom, healing and music, and enlightenment. But it's also funny that they mention here, he was noted for both his physical and spiritual beauty, yet he was always unlucky in love.
Love, yes. Wasn't there a video documentary on YouTube narrated by Lauren Green about the history of the fall of the lizard Cylons taken over by the robot servants? Yes.
No, it wasn't a documentary. It was the actual beginning of one of the telemovies.
It was used as part of the
Yep.
the pilot pitch.
Yeah. It was if you have any of the telemovies, I have all the telemovies, but if you watch one of the telemovies, one of the telemovies starts out with pictures and the description of the Cylons.
Yeah, of the Cylons. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good one, Carl. So
that's
look,
Apollo. So the next we look up is Starbuck, and believe me or not, I can't find anything mythological about Starbuck.
But
the name comes from England. And what they believe is a couple of things for it, but there's no mythology in regards to Starbuck. Matter of fact, Starbucks, the coffee company, was almost called the Pequod. So, because it was made after Moby Dick. So, also the Starbucks mermaids, by the way, that's from Moby Dick as well.
I wanted to point out that you overlooked the fact that long ago, lizard-like beings known as Cylons, now nearly extinct. That's page 13. You just read page 12.
I'm not there yet. I'm on 12.
Oh boy.
On the second column of 12.
Ahead. You jumped ahead.
How did I jump ahead? I'm on page 12. You're on 13? Who's jumped ahead?
You talk about Starbuck.
I just talked about Starbuck. I'm getting there now. Bottom of page 12 is where they start talking about Starbuck.
Bottom of page 12?
Yep.
Yes. I thought you were done with Starbuck.
I'm getting there. So, most
sure
notable among all the women on board the Galactica is Adama's daughter, Athena. Yeah. Now, if you look up Athena, she's the goddess of war, right? But she's also accompanied by a solicitor named Cassiopeia. Both beautiful yet quite different. Athena is the name in the ancient Greek goddess of war, handicraft, and wisdom. The constant friend of the beleaguered traveler, which they all are. They're all beleaguered travelers, the Battlestar is. And she's both a virgin and a mother, and I'm not sure how that works out.
That's just
that's weird.
You know. Well, Athena was born whole from Zeus's head. So
right. And then, of course, they talk about Cassiopeia in Earth mythology was a human, a beautiful woman, and had such excessive pride that she was cast out into the heavens to spend eternity in supplication. Now, I've got hers as well. I thought this was extremely fascinating in regards to...
And also involved in war as well.
Yeah. I thought this was extremely interesting in Cassiopeia. Give me a second.
And you actually grew up reading a lot of this,
yes,
Chris,
I did.
if I'm not mistaken.
1 second.
Those are the Titans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Titans.
Yeah. Didn't you? I thought you had it right there.
I thought I did too.
But yeah, so there's and we know definitively that the names that were chosen were representing archetypes, and that the backstory to each one of the names is somehow connected to the actual characters. They help, outline, who they're supposed to be, so to speak. So that was very interesting.
So I thought this was a really interesting story. So this is the Cassiopeia story. So Cassiopeia or Cassiopeia is the name given to several characters in Greek mythology. However, one is the prevalent of the myths, is the queen of Ethiopia. Imagine that. Was the wife of King Siphus, daughter of Kronos and I can't say that one. Zuzo. Very beautiful and vain. And so we're thinking, she's a solicitor, so get that in your mind there. Very beautiful and vain. She's committed hubris by saying that she and her daughter, Andromeda, were the most beautiful, that all the daughters of the sea god Nereus, called Nereidis, I can't get that right. As a result, Poseidon, which is the king of the ocean, was infuriated and sent the sea monster Cetus to plague the coasts of Ethiopia. According to other sources, he did not send the monster, but caused the lands to flood. Are we talking maybe Atlantis here? consulting an oracle, Cephas and Cassiopeia had to sacrifice Andromeda. So she has to sacrifice, the king and his wife have to sacrifice their daughter, Andromeda, to please Poseidon, so they will not flood their lands.
Mm-hmm.
So they're required to chain their daughter to a rock next to the sea and to sacrifice it to Cetus, which is the sea monster. But Perseus, he's on his way back from slaying snake hair,
Medusa.
Medusa. So he's on his way back from slaying Medusa, sees this, and he manages to save her and kill the beast. I think he's in some of the things he uses Medusa's head to kill the beast. Unhappy that Cassiopeia was not punished, Poseidon tied her to a chair in the heavens so that she would revolve upside down half of the time. This is how that constellation took its name, resembling a torture chair that was used for Cassiopeia's punishment. That's kind of cool. Cool things.
Nuts. Yeah. And we know that I know Eric shared the story that his father would, look this stuff up, and Eric remembers him, looking up the mythology and the names and things, and so he purposely chose these names to represent these characters, which is just mind-boggling that it's not random.
If you start going through some of the other shows like Lost Warrior, every single star's name in that show is a Greek name for a constellation.
Yeah, which is phenomenal, right? I mean,
But I did not really catch that until I started doing research on it. I was like, what? Let me look this name up. What?
Yeah. Which is, so it you know what that tells me, Chris, that there was a concerted effort to make sure that they kept that going throughout the series, which was important on some level, that they didn't just start changing names or just use any name or make up stuff, that they did that on purpose to keep that flow going. So that's kind of cool. And that their characters, like Apollo is the upstanding, guy. So, it's
so now we get to the point in here that talks about Cylons.
Oh boy. Okay. Are you
Long
okay
ago,
with
lizard-like beings known as Cylons, now nearly extinct.
Yes.
Not extinct. So they're still lizard-like Cylons.
Well, we found that out in the
original
books that
book
we were reading. Yeah, we found that out that's true.
Yep. And then so they talked about the Cylons. Go ahead. Oh, that said something.
Nope.
So this is where I kind of get into here. It says, so the equivalent of 1,000 Earth years, Cylons have come close to their goal. So there's been a war for 1,000 years, and of course humans are tired of fighting. And the desperate desire for peace, Cylon have agreed to a conference with the professed object of signing a treaty. As the colonial's leader, President Adar, of course, is duped, and on board the Battlestars to sign the treaty. Cylons attack, destroying the 12 colonies, and apparently 4 of the 5 Battlestars. That's when we get into the Battlestar stuff.
Yep.
But mechanical creatures, their creators are determined to destroy the humans completely.
Yeah.
And for a very petty reason.
Petty? Yes.
Really?
Yes. I agree.
Simple jealousy of the human life form. Oh, where have you heard that one before?
Done.
Simple jealousy of a human life form.
Yes, freedom. Done. Yeah. That's it.
Did someone steal that for the Reimagined series?
We've discovered a lot of tidbits that come directly out of
Well, we just finished the Armageddon book where the IL series downloads himself to another ship.
Yeah,
and so that he can that's written way before Ron Moore's version of Battlestar Galactica was written.
So there's a lot of, I mean, they should have. I think they missed the boat when they had the opportunity to actually state the fact that this is where we got this idea. These ideas, it would.
But I think it also it's that the fans should realize that some of the Ron Moore stuff is original Battlestar Galactica information.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, it's totally different.
Nah.
There's some things that carry over. There were
Even
human Cylons in 1980.
Yeah, 1980. A lot of that stuff. But we failed to see it or even want to know about it, which is a shame. It really is. The backlash was too over the top, and I think we're paying for it to this day.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is a little bit towards it's page 14, and it mentions that there's 4 distinct races of humans.
Yeah. Now
that
I don't know where they
colonized
got
the
that.
12 colonies.
I was under the impression that there were 12 different races.
Yeah, but they're not. So
But they're not. So there's 4 different races spread over the 12 colonies, according to this. I don't know if I've ever seen that anywhere else.
No. So I don't know.
It wasn't in the original book that I know of. I have to go back and reread that section, but I don't believe it was in the original book or anything.
So where did this guy get that from?
I don't know.
That's interesting, right? Where did he pick that up? He didn't make it up.
Well,
I don't think he made it up.
But I like the way. So there's 4. Let's say there's 4 races gathered across 12 planets, and it mentions in here how there's on Earth there is racism.
Yeah.
Whereas on
in the
colonies, there's no they work together and there's no racism.
No, what they discriminate in a different way. They discriminate against
Cylons.
I think they said classes. Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, they do have their own system of differentiating, and it has to do with their, I think they said something. Is it a caste system that they have?
Yeah, I believe it's a caste system.
Yeah, they have a caste system. So if you weren't
workers,
workers,
elites,
right?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's how they. It's not the same as ours, which I thought that was kind of interesting. Distinct race of humans, precisely the same 4 that colonized their sister colony Earth. However, while racial prejudice developed on Earth, very little of the prejudice on the 12 colonies was based upon color. Prejudice did exist among these humans, but the most severe form was based upon social and economic positions.
That's where I believe, if you think about the Capricorns in the show, they seem like the elite. And then and I know I'm crossing the streams here. If you go to watch Caprica, the show that's based on the Ron Moore piece, but you can see a little bit of the different casting there. So, they're Capricorn, and you're Tauron. You're a dirt eater, you're that kind of thing. So I thought, that's interesting. And of course, the distinct races, I don't know where they got that from. And then it moves on, and I don't know if you got anything between there and this, but if you do, give me a yell. It moves on, and they're talking about the different characters, and one of the characters they hit on now is Baltar. And it compares Baltar to Judas.
Yes.
Which is an interesting comparison. Sells out his entire race, or sells out his savior in that case, in Jesus's case. That for gold or silver, or for in Baltar's case, he wants to rule. So power.
He wants to rule, which is an archetype, right? So Baltar's character is archetypical of like the traitor. That was always interesting. That you can always find an example of a correlation between what he's doing and what he represents to our life. And I also want to bring this up. This is the impact that Galactica always represented in my mind, right? So we're talking about the names and what they represent, and these archetypes, and the ideas of whether or not this happened in the past. How past did they make it here? Are we them?
Mm-hmm.
And how the meaning of all this, right? It's like how what levels of betrayal go into what who and what Baltar is, and his motivations. None of this is found in Star Wars, right? Star Wars: A New Hope is full of archetypes, bad and good, and it's like it was
It's a
serialized, and it
Western
was
in
like,
space. We always talk about that. So
it wasn't this.
it
This
wasn't
is
wasn't based. Luke Skywalker was not based on a mythology.
well,
Princess
yeah, that's,
Leia was, that's their own mythology. They don't have
they
they don't
debate
have a
that today.
foundational mythology on Earth.
They debate that today, and they'll tell
Yeah.
you that it's the archetypes are there. There's the good and there's the bad,
Yeah.
and Obi-Wan represents, and Darth Vader represents.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
that's
That's
fine.
not mythology.
Right. So when you're watching that movie, Star Wars: A New Hope, when it came out, that none of that is evident. Yes, there's the good and the bad guys, and there's archetypes, but the deepness that Galactica represents, right? You can't escape some of this. When what we're talking about is just there,
Mhm.
and you might have to think a little bit more about it, but it's there, right? That's not the same as Star Wars.
Right.
And when people say, "Oh,
A
Galactica is a
ripoff.
cheap rip-off,"
Yeah.
yeah, no, nope, no,
Nope.
it's not. Nope.
So,
I mean, we're talking about it on this level. No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
So also a couple of things they mentioned in here for
Yeah.
the family is Starbuck has difficulty in being constantly in love, and he can't. They always had the feeling of reinforces in him, and the viewers of the Captain Apollo meets and falls in love, marries beautiful Serena, a newswoman, and later becomes one of the first female warriors. The marriage is very brief. Cylon ambush. She leaves behind a child. Earlier marriage. I like the way that they put this, though. They put down a little boy named Boxy who becomes Apollo's charge. I like the way this is a neat. If you look at it, it definitely makes sense. Boxy represents the future of humankind. In his innocence and in his vibrant enthusiasm, he is hope. He is the victim of tragedy and circumstance, yet he is determined to survive. That's a cool way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Boxy being the new hope, he represents the future of everybody. They're the kids. They're the ones that are going to inherit this whole thing. So,
Fran made a good comment
ahead.
about the hero's journey, and there's a lot that's been said in the last 20 years about Campbell and his take on what that journey is and how that ties into certain archetypes and how that's linked to Star Wars. Fran said that the hero's journey is not the same as straight up the mythology. It's a different type of aspect, and
Right.
that's exactly what that's at the heart of the difference between Battlestar and Star Wars. Not to mention, we've heard it said many times, Chris. It's a buddy story too,
Right.
right? That's one of the simple ways of saying it. It's like
It's
it's
family.
about, it's family.
It's a family story. You've got, Luke and Aunt Maru, or whatever her name was, Baloo, but aunt and uncle don't really get along with Luke well, and Luke doesn't like them that much, and is kind of just thrown into that situation. Whereas Battlestar Galactica is a family story. They eat together. They, when Serena dies, they adopt Boxy into their family. Starbuck is part of their family, even though he's not really related. There's a family archetype that's put there that makes you connect that with, the family archetype that you want to have on Earth.
Right.
That some people do and some people don't have.
Right, exactly. Mary says Star Wars is a sci-fi version of the hero's journey, which is found in almost every culture. Yeah, these themes, transcend, of course, all stories.
Oh, yeah.
Are some type of a hero's
Baru,
journey.
that's it.
Agreed. Carl says, when I first saw the Viper helmet, I saw the Egyptian right off the bat. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And it says, and it tied to the human race, and they were struggling to survive. So that's what I was getting out of it too. I saw it totally different. Although I was a big Star Wars fan, like just about everybody, that had seen it back in the movie theater in, when it first came out in 77.
Yeah.
But the impact that Galactica brought about, totally different, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same. So, yeah.
So I think
you identify, Chris, this is perfect. Fran says you identify those people and want to be with them, care about them, want to see them survive and succeed.
right.
Yeah,
You're rooting
exactly.
you root for the people in the movie.
Yeah, which is great, and that's what I thought made it so much more. Even though the episodes were fast and they just, the stories and the way it was shot and the way it was presented, it has a super fast pace. I just felt that when I watched the totality of Galactica, it meant so much more to me than A New Hope. Although I love both of them as well, but I just, something resonated more deeply with me when it came to the overall story of Battlestar Galactica. And I know, Chris, that you resonated with the plight of, the conquering Cylon.
I resonate with the plight that you guys started the war.
Sci fiction. Owen, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate interview. If you haven't heard us thanking you on our previous shows, thank you so much for the interview we had with you. It was fantastic. And thank you for stopping in. We appreciate you coming by. Looking forward to having you back on our show. So for those of you that haven't actually taken the time out to listen to the podcast, Sci Fiction is doing podcasting, and we were his guests, and we had a real good time. So take a look on that. That was really good. Chris, I think you posted a link to that. I just want to make sure we got that out. Hey, Dorian. Oh, finally, man. Where have you been, my friend? Glad you stopped in as well. Dorian Keyes, award-winning author, sci-fi author. Thanks for coming back. One of our original guests on our show when we first started. Thanks for coming by. Remember, guys, if you're going to be at the convention at New York Comic Con, let us know so we can all get together. Stephen McCormack. Hey, what's up, Steve? Thanks for joining us live. Sci Fiction says, yes, indeed. Excellent time having you guys on the show. It was awesome. So going back to our chapter, we're doing the first chapter of
they got done with talking about Boxy, and now he moves into a little bit of the Sire Yuri.
Oh, yes.
Sire Yuri is another political scumbag.
Hey, easy.
Yeah, well, he is.
I know, but take it easy, man.
But so he offers he's trying to convince them to lay down their arms and live in peace, which is what we really wanted to begin with. The Cylons did anyhow. But
all right.
Yeah. So I think this part is interesting to me. I don't know if and this is something that could make some people angry by reading it, but it's in the book. So the elderly one of the elderly councilmen, when they're talking about settling down and everything else, Councilman Anton, he makes a significant comment on the idea of awarding a gold cluster. So if you remember, the gold cluster is the highest.
Yes. Yes.
And he says in the movie, just what we need at the moment, some old-fashioned, down-to-good, honest heroes. And the implication on this is that heroes are not born, but made by politicians.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that's one of the reasons why, and of course, in the show, Boomer and Starbuck are all happy about it, but later on, they turn it down.
Yes, they do.
So, because they realize that the politicians are trying to use them to get what they want instead of awarding a real hero what they deserve.
Right.
So the question is, do politicians make heroes, or are heroes born? That's because of the situation they're in. So I thought that was interesting, and that gets really close to the end here.
Basically, because I read the last paragraph in the beginning.
Yeah. But so there's some, they talk a little bit about the Ovions and what happens in the movie with regards to the Ovions and how the Cylons, who are quote unquote fascists, and the Ovions, who are socialists. Socialists? No, communists.
Communists.
Communists
It's
get
a high,
along together to take out the
Yeah.
Americans, or the colonials, I should say.
Yes, they mentioned. Yes, they mentioned, and it's like and it's run by a dictator, Queen Lotte.
Yeah.
So there's like a
Which,
totalitarian state
I
within a
swear, if
state.
you haven't had a chance to reread the Battlestar Galactica, original Battlestar Galactica book, it'll open your eyes in regards to the stuff that really what they wanted to do. There is a lot of differences in the book than in the show. And of course there always is, but
Yeah.
Larson's, I think Larson's true idea and goal is in the book, whereas part of his idea and part of his goal is only in the movie. So that's my opinion. But that pretty much sums up the first chapter. I guess we call that a chapter, right?
Yes, it is a chapter. So that's the official Battlestar Galactica scrapbook, guys. Thank you very
Interesting.
much for
Great
Yeah,
stuff.
it is. It's really interesting on a totally different level. For those of you that read it and are rereading it with us, there's a lot of depth to it. I really liked it when it first came out, and I'm re-enjoying it a lot. So thanks for joining us. There's not a lot to the book. There's a lot of big pictures. So we're going to get through this real quick, and then we'll be picking up with another book. We don't know yet, but we'll figure that out as we get closer to the
all
halfway
these,
point or something.
Or
But thank you for joining us, guys, and looking forward to the next show, which we will be broadcasting, and then following our next show will be content from New York Comic Con. So everybody stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Chris?
I just wanted to mention if anybody's looking for Richard Hatch's Warhawk, I saw one on eBay for hardback for $7.50 delivered. So you can go search eBay. You guys can fight yourselves for it right now, but you can go buy it now, $7.50, and get it delivered for the same price, free shipping. I was just blown away. I would have bought it, but I already have 2 hardbacks and one soft cover, or paperback, I should say.
Paperback. Yeah.
So I don't need another one. And usually what I buy these things for are giveaways. So I figured I'd throw it out to you guys, see if you want it first, and see if anybody grabs it. So, but $7.50 is a heck of a deal. So
thanks for tuning in, everybody. We love having you on board. Don't forget to subscribe, right? You got to give us the likes, but you have to subscribe and tell your friends about the show. If you want to contact us or email us at info@interfleetbroadcasting.com. Everyone stay safe, please. See you at our next show. Keep the faith, and remember our motto, Chris. Our motto is
for you guys, because you guys fans fuel the fleet, and you're amazing people that keep the fandom alive and keep this really cool idea that Battlestar Galactica is. So here's to you, fans fuel the fleet. We'll see you next Thursday.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.